Developing right now, new encampments of anti-war protesters popping up on other campuses now from coast to coast. More than a dozen people arrested at the University of Maryland, where students staged a sit-in for Palestinians today. Then in Atlanta, protesters clashing with police on Emory University's campus, even reports of getting tased. Georgia state troopers also making several arrests there. Let's bring in our Phil Lipoff. He's been following all the developments. So let's start with the protests at the University of Maryland. Not far from here, and ABC News in the center of D.C. What happened, Phil?
A dozen arrests today, as you mentioned, but for the most part, it has been a sit-in to show solidarity with the 100 or so protesters arrested at Columbia here in New York City last week, and to make demands that UMD divest from Israel in every way. Some of the students there with some very close and personal ties to Gaza.
All of our family is in Rafah, so they're under bombardment. They're having the issues with food. They don't have food. They don't have water. Their houses are being bombed, and our relatives have been being killed.
Just want Maryland, University of Maryland, to just recognize that, like, hey, I do exist. I need their support. I need them. Like, I would love for them to divest. I don't want my money or tuition money to go towards, like, war and killing people.
It certainly is a valid concern. There are many Jewish students on campuses all across this country that find a lot of this rhetoric anti-Semitic. Kira.
So let's go to Emory University now in Atlanta, where things actually turned violent. What do you know?
Yeah, that was one of the many places it turned violent. Emory, the university says a few dozen people, Kira, came onto campus who are actually not members of the school community. They set up tents in the quad and began to clash with police. I'll take you to Northwestern University in Illinois. Dozens of students have set up tent encampment there and are calling it a free Gaza liberated zone. The problem is none of these encampments are actually seen as liberated space by any of the school administrations that they are happening at. Northwestern says the tents are a violation of school policy, and when police moved in to take them down, protesters linked their arms and tried to keep folks away from them. These are live pictures where, guys, this is from Northwestern, so you can see they're surrounding the tents there. Again, the school says this is not their policy to allow this to happen. They're negotiating with the folks who are there. At UC Berkeley, want to mention this, Kira, campus with a very proud legacy, as you know, of embracing social protest. An encampment grew overnight. Students say they will not leave until the school cuts all ties with Israeli schools and companies with ties to arms suppliers. And they want the University of California to formally recognize Israel's actions as genocide. And again, many Jewish students on that campus say they feel intimidated, not welcomed with all these tents and encampments, and they find a lot of the rhetoric from the protesters anti-Semitic.
Phil, appreciate your reporting.